feel like you are strong, if you feel like your faith is strong, but your discipline is inconsistent, and the problem may not be spiritually, it may be physiological, okay, maybe in your body. So I want to start this video because, you know, obviously the recording is going for okay, so it became a moment of stillness, a moment that I can listen to. When we talk about the heart, I can go into pieces like what the heart means, which is the soul, is your. It was like we want to walk by the spirit of power, self-control, and love, right? Walking with the spirit of anger, of, you know, it looked like they have no love. Maybe they're not paying attention to what is going on their daily lives and how that's impacting their body. But I like to experience things before I share it, and paying attention to how. Good afternoon. My name is Layla here from Faithfullfit. Strong. If you feel like your faith is strong, but your discipline is inconsistent, and the problem may not be spiritually, it may be physiological, okay, maybe in your body. So I want to start this video because, you know, obviously the recording is going for the video on YouTube, and I'm gonna wait for people to come in, and so I can talk about this topic. I just wanted to take some moment to talk about, you know, especially with women over 40, men, caregivers, people who have responsibilities, adults who have daily responsibilities, career, jobs, families, and maybe going through some emotional issues right now, or maybe going through depression, maybe going through anxiety. You may be going through things that you may not even understand why and what's going on. Okay, your body may be hurting. You may be feeling everything is hurting in your body. Your head hurts. Your shoulder is heavy. This topic is for you. Okay, I'm gonna give some time and also talk about it. I'm also going to talk about the reason why I took a solo retreat and took some moment to spend time alone, without my family, without friends, but just by myself as a woman. Okay. So this is what I'm going to be talking about, and the topic is going to be about your body, your biology, your physical body, which is your physiological states, and also talk about your mental health. Okay. And then how we integrate the three to make sure that we are well and have an understanding of what's going on with you, especially if you are over 40. Okay. Especially if you are a caregiver, you're a mom, maybe a single mom, maybe you're married. Maybe you struggling with getting relationships because you're overwhelmed. Maybe there's a lot in your plate that is making you feel overwhelmed. Okay, so good afternoon. This is Layla here from Faithfullfit. I don't know why I can do these videos so many times, and I always get nervous, and I'm not even that shy. So I get nervous when I'm making the video because I feel that it's very important, but also I want to make sure that I'm authentic, that I'm being myself and vulnerable as much as I can to be able to share the things I want to share and help you. So if at any point, let me stop this thing, because this thing, if I move my arm, it's going to move. Let me keep it stable. Shut off. Give me a second. So if at any point you have questions or I jump to a different topic, ask me a question. I'm going to try to read, okay? So we can talk about it, all right? So the way I want to start is give you something to think about, okay? Maybe you're a person of faith. Maybe you believe in God. Maybe you're someone who struggle with believing in God, but you believe in neuroscience, you believe in biology, you believe in psychology, okay? So I want to bring you this perspective together to help give you an understanding. I think that sometimes we get so stuck on, okay, faith, and we say, I believe in God, but, also the Bible says faith without action is dead. So it's like, it's important that we understand other aspects of who we are as a being, as a person, so we can help ourselves and then help other people. Okay. So don't close your mind so quickly when you start to hear some things that you may not go with your theology. Okay. Or may feel that, no, I don't want to hear this part, because sometimes I think when we are believers, we want to shut off everything else when it comes to emotional intelligence, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to your physical states and how your body responds to certain things. And we just stay stuck. OK, so you find a lot of people who, you may feel that your faith is strong, but you lack discipline. Your discipline is very inconsistent. Okay. The problem may not be spiritual. If you're someone who knows, okay, my faith is strong, but I lack discipline, you may not be struggling with spiritual impact. You may be struggling with nervous system impact. You may be struggling with the fact that your body is overwhelmed. You may be struggling with the fact that your body is not responding well to the stress, to the environment, to the things that's going on around you. And God will want you to have some intelligence, some knowledge of how to take care of your temple. Okay. Your temple is a home. It needs to be taken care of. God created you not just as a spirit, but he created you as a being, as a whole being. And you need to understand that whole being. Okay. So, if you are over 40, for example, I'm 41. And my body is going through different changes, or maybe I'm more aware of what's going on in my body now, right? I've been training for a long time. I train for many different reasons, but most importantly, to make sure that I'm mentally healthy, that I'm physically strong and healthy, and that and I'm going to be honest with you. When I first started to train, was okay because my body was changing. I wanted to change that body, but then I realized that something was happening mentally with me, right? I realized that I was starting to question identity. And when I say identity, I'm talking about who I am as a woman, who I am as a mom. I was a new mom, right? And I realized that I was missing something. And that's when, working out became more than working out for me, okay? So it became a moment of stillness, a moment that I can listen to a teaching, I can listen to a motivational speaker to change my mindset, because there was so much negative things going on in my mind about, everything. Because the work I was doing, I'm a social worker, hearing things from different families, and facing my own challenges, and then trying to figure out how to, live my best life and not struggle with these questions that I had, right? So that's when like I said, training became more than for the physical. It became a moment of worship. Okay. It became a moment of stillness, a moment of awareness. So when I tell you about training, that's why I tell you about training. Okay. So, but let's talk about a little bit about what I'm talking about, that if you feel that you're somebody who's strong in faith, maybe you're not somebody who's strong in faith, but now the struggle sometimes, I think that when you don't have the faith part, for me, this is my belief, in my experience, the struggle now is worse. Now I'm not only struggling with my physical aspect of my body that's changing. I'm struggling with my faith, and I'm struggling with finding hope. I'm struggling with finding like a base, a foundation to hold on to. Okay. That's why it was important for me to build that faith. It's important for us to have a foundation. So when other struggles in life come, we know how to face it. Okay. So when we are emotional fatigue, now you're tired, you make decisions all day, you help other people, you help your family, maybe you clean, maybe you go to work and you have to deal with your bosses, or maybe you are managing other staffs, right? And you are emotionally fatigued. You start to feel that you constantly having to make emotional decisions, that you become fatigued, okay? Your nervous system become dysregulated. So when I'm talking about the nervous systems, like when I'm starting to become emotionally fatigued, you start to feel some changes in your body, the disposition, the state of your body. You feel things in your body. Sometimes some people might feel pain behind their neck, pain on their shoulder, heaviness on their chest. Maybe your breathing become slow or too fast, and then you feel like you having a panic attack, you have anxiety attack, right? So that's how you start to realize that some things that is happening emotionally is affecting the state of your body. Okay. So, and then like the nervous system impact, right? So when we are overstimulated, stress, fatigue, and we are stressful, we become more impulsive. We quicker to get angry. It's quick for you to lose temper, right? So that means that now, from the fatigue, the stress, now you losing the capacity of paying attention, to be in a moment, to think before you react. Okay. So whatever is going on in your body is affecting your thinking, is affecting the way you feel, and now you feel it in your body. All right. So when we losing the capacity, when we overuse it. Yes, Leilani. I'm busy, Leilani.
My headphones.
I don't have your headphone. I tell them not to bother me when I'm doing video because it takes me off, but they always do. When we are overusing our capacity, when we overstimulated, stress, we fatigue, then you start to lose self-control. You start to lose the capacity to control yourself. Okay, so that's why it's important for us to understand this. I'm saying we need to understand this, so when we apply our faith, we also understand what's going on in our body. We understand why we are struggling. Okay, because I could say, but I have faith, but I'm continue to be an angry person. But I have faith, but I'm continue to struggle with, cravings, and I'm continue to struggle with poor decisions. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm continue to struggle with having self-control of my desires, because you constantly feel that you have to, it's like you have used all your capacities of energy to the point that now your body is just reacting to things. You're making decisions poorly. You're not thinking wisely. You're just moving you're moving on autopilot. Okay. So if you guys come in, if you have questions, if you can pause me, right? I'm looking at the screen so I can read, because I normally get to talk, and then I might jump. Okay. If you feel like I'm jumping, just please ask me a question. Try to open your mind to hear me out. And I will be sharing a little bit why I'm sharing this, why I'm talking about this, and then how I applied it for myself. Okay. How it's helping me. So, and I shared earlier that a lot of people of faith, sometimes they think because you have faith, you don't take it, they don't believe in taking care of their body. They don't believe that, it's like when we read the verse that Paul says our body is the temple of God, and for us to protect our body, we think about protection of our body only by exposing our body or somebody, or having sin. We're thinking about sin, right? But protecting your body is also understanding how our body function, is understanding your nerve system, is not understanding that your body, when I look at the definition of what the body is in the Bible and what Paul talks about the body is an expression of you. You have a flesh, and then in some language, in some moments, the body and the flesh may sound like it's the same, but the flesh is your nature. Right? Is the nature of humanity, the nature that we have as a human being. So when the flesh takes over, right? When the flesh, sin takes over, which is the desires, which is sometimes our evil thinking, right? Takes over, and then the flesh wants to influence the body. And then by the time you notice, now your body is desiring those things. Okay. So now your temple is contaminated. So that's why it's important for us to be aware what is going on with us, how much stress are we carrying, And how can we deload the stress? Not just with prayer, we pray, we talk to God, but in actions, what are we going to do about it, right? To help ourselves, to take care of ourselves, so we're in the right state of mind to make the right decisions, to take the right actions, okay? Because when we are fatigued, when we are tired, when we are stressed, you start to become fatigued emotionally, you become fatigued spiritually, and you become, by the time you notice, now your mental health is breaking down, okay? Because your body influence your thinking, your emotions influence your thinking, your thoughts influence like your body, and then all of that is like a whole mix, right? We need to understand all these aspects. So for those who believe, who have faith, in Proverbs 4:23, God said, guard your heart. Okay. When we talk about the heart, I can go into pieces like what the heart means, which is the soul, is your mind, your emotions, is in your will. Guard your heart. Pay attention to what's going on in your thinking. Pay attention to what's going on emotionally. Pay attention to the decisions you're making. Okay. So guard it. Pay attention what's going on there, so you know what kind of decisions, you know what's there. It's not to condemn you. It's not to make you point fingers at yourself, but if it's to help you to be aware to make better decisions. Okay, it's not that we are perfect, but the more aware you are, the better you're able to help yourself and help those around you. 2 Timothy 1:7 said, the spirit of power, love, and self-control. So it's like we want to walk by the spirit of power, self-control, and love, right? So, but sometimes like you have people who are believers and you wonder why you see them walking with the spirit of anger, of, it look like they have no love, or it look like they have no self-control. Maybe they're not paying attention to what is going on their daily lives and how that's impacting their body, how that's impacting their mental health, and then now their spiritual life. Because when we are sick, our body is broken, we are feeling ill in our body. Sometimes you find people lacking into praying. Now you feel less motivated to pray. Now you feel, some people start to question God, like maybe God doesn't love me. Maybe he doesn't care about me. Why is my body broken? Why am I getting sick? What is going on with me, right? So instead of paying attention that I need to go see a doctor. Okay, I need to make sure the doctor know what's going on with my body. The doctor may understand more about what's going on in my body than I know. I need to pay attention. What kind of stress? Am I overstressed? Am I overthinking? Am I lacking sleep? Am I carrying a lot of loads? I'm not taking time off to take care of myself. Okay. And before I go too far, I'll give you an example. I took, and I've been thinking to share this for a little while now. But I like to experience things before I share it, and paying attention to how I'm transitioning to getting older, over 40, and then thinking about my children, thinking about how they're growing, thinking about the decisions they're making, thinking about the school they go, thinking about if they're going to be a great people in the community, thinking about like the decisions they may take, which I may feel ashamed about, not feel ashamed about, right? It's like now life is not just about me. Life is about everybody around me, right? So those things impact my well-being. It impacts, it takes energy. Okay, I'm a positive person. I'm very strong. I'm very courageous. I can handle all of it because God cannot give me something I cannot handle, but that doesn't mean I don't feel it. Okay, we're gonna feel. You are a being in the body, and you have your intuitions as humanity, but you're gonna feel things, okay? And decisions we make impact us, and vice versa, right? So when I took this moment by myself, like it took a lot of courage, it took a lot of thinking, and it was weird to I was like, am I gonna be bored? How am I gonna feel when I'm out there? Then I think about safety, which is not like I'm afraid about, to be alone. Like I spend time alone to work out. I do a day activity by myself, but I wanted to have like 3 days. At first, I wanted to do it out of the country, but then, okay, I think you're exaggerating. So just start with something close by. But then I realized the reason why I was feeling different is because one, it's not something we normally do as a woman or as a caregiver or as a parent. We feel like it's wrong for women to do that if they marry, if they have children. We feel that, oh, if a woman going to get away by herself, maybe she's going with somebody, or maybe we start to have all these assumptions, or maybe her marriage is not going well. We start to wonder, a lot of things that I know in our society, as I'm sharing those moments, that people can go into thinking. But I didn't care in the moment what people was thinking. I wanted to come to this moment to share this experience with you, because as a woman or a man, if you're listening to me, there's time that you need to be by yourself. You need to find moments to reflect. You can journal. I journal. I thought about it, because when you ask yourself some questions, it's like it starts to make you think, right? So the moment alone was like, it was wonderful. I didn't feel too much different, because I was like, oh, I do this. I be by myself sometimes. There was only one moment that I felt awkward sitting at the bar eating oyster, and then because I think it was at the bar, because I'd been to a restaurant by myself, and my phone was in the charger. I didn't have my phone in my hand. And not having your phone, because we're so used to be on phones, and then we pretend we're doing something so we don't have to face people around us or socialize, right? So now I'm sitting there, and this other lady sat beside me. And I heard her overshare with a bartender that she came to visit her daughter, but her daughter went somewhere, and she ended up to spend time by herself. So now I'm sitting there, in my mind, I'm saying, I should say something to her. This white lady, I was like, I should say something to her. Then I was like, nah, maybe she wants to be quiet by herself, just like you was trying to be by yourself. But then I said, just say something, right? So it's like getting myself out of comfortability, and speak to her. So the conversation was very fulfilling. It was about children, raising children. She's an older woman. She has grown kids, and she's spending moments by herself. Okay. And during that time, I had some, throughout those 3 days, things that I needed to do to give me time to reflect and think about, which I will share with you at the end, so you can look at things like that for yourself, is to help yourself if you are somebody who's struggling with things like this. So let's think about some practical ways, right? Some important things that you need to think about to do if you are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, dysregulated, all over the place, fearful to take a moment by yourself. Maybe you might be telling yourself a million excuses why you cannot do it. I'm the one that cook. I'm the one that does this. These children need me. Let me tell you, if you die right now, they're going to have to figure their life out. If you die right now, they will figure it out, right? You are not God. So don't do the work of God. God wants you to take care of yourself so you can learn to take care of others. If we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not taking time to see how we're growing, or how our body's changing, how our mind is changing, how we're changing spiritually, we by the time you notice, you lost, right? Because you're not taking time for yourself. You get lost in the process. And the older you get, those things keep repeating. Your family will grow, your children will grow, they'll move. Some people, they separate. Some of you guys are probably already separated from your partner. Now you don't know yourself anymore. You have lost your whole self. So taking that time off was to remind myself that in those moments, I was not a parent in the moment. I was out. Of course, I'm a wife, I'm a parent, but it's stepping out and just being Layla. Okay, just being Layla with God, by myself, and being okay with that. And the most beautiful thing is too, is when families, when people, the more we educate ourselves, so we can normalize it for the woman and the men in your lives to be able to do things like this. And it's important that you learn these things, how to regulate yourself, so you can have self-control and not go and cheat on your wife or your husband when you out, and not feel that you have to go look for attention from outsiders when you're on your own. But you on your own for a purpose, for a reason. Okay, it's for you to get to know your identity, and not saying that you're not going to feel those desires or things like that, because in those moments maybe you're going to discover things that you didn't know was happening with you, Why am I thinking these type of thoughts? Why I'm going through these moments like this? Why my body hurts so much? Why am I gaining weight and I'm not losing these weights? Why do I feel so fatigued? Like I feel like I'm always tired. And some of that tiredness may be in your body, some of that tiredness may be spiritual, some of that tiredness is just mental, you drowning. Okay, so exercise is very important part of your daily. I hear people saying, but I have 2 jobs. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do this. Listen, you die, those things still going to be getting done. Somebody's going to have to take those responsibilities. It's excuse that you make. So you don't take care of yourself because you are tired, you are overwhelmed, and then you're feeling like it's too much, and then yourself stay last. You don't take care of yourself because you feel like now that's too much to add to the plate. Hello. Okay. So 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, whatever works for you. Find some moment to move your body. Okay. To stretch. Find some moment to dance. Find some moment to lift some weights if you love to lift weights. I like to lift weights. I lift weights. And pay attention to, for those who exercise, am I exercising because I love myself, or am I exercising because I'm punishing myself? Am I exercising out of love, or am I exercising out of hate of myself in comparison with other people? That's not going to bring you to a health. It's not going to bring you towards feeling fulfilled. It's not going to bring you towards healing. It's just going to continue to break down. By the time you know, you might have a beautiful body and all that, but you're going to look in the mirror, you're not going to see that. Okay? You're going to constantly find things in yourself that you're going to dislike. Okay? The beauty doesn't stay forever. Okay? We age. Our body change. Your hormones, when you stress, your hormones is impacted. And when your hormones is impacted, you might not start to struggle to lose weight. And then you lose weight too fast. What is going on? Am I having enough sleep? Am I stressed? Am I overthinking? Am I, feeling like fatigue because so much responsibility is over myself? And sometimes, you may have help. You may have people around you that help you, but you overthinking it, okay? You may be worried about your family. You may be worried about the future. Maybe all that takes energy from us, okay? So just pay attention to those things. Make sure that you're helping yourself regulate. If you can't read, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube, things that will help you out, okay? Sometimes we sit around, we watch a lot of negative things that negative impact us, that actually make us feel worse than how we already feeling, instead of us watching something that's going to impact our lives and change us and help us. Okay. So,